Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Katie, the Mountain Mystic, and I am so happy to be here with you today to continue these conversations. Or maybe you're new here, maybe this is your intro to this body of work that I teach, and how beautiful is that? So whether you're new, whether you're returning, what I have for you today is a conversation, maybe a little bit of practice, but this is going to be more of a conversation focused video, sharing a lot more words, kind of hanging out in the space that is the mind. So often in the embodiment work that we do, we spend a lot more time in practice. You get to hang out with me where I'm kind of cueing you to get out of your head and to experience what I'm guiding you through. And I just made a whole other video where I guided you. There's like 15 or 20 minutes of practice in there to really get you into the experience of what I'm talking about in this embodiment, new earth embodiment space, right? Whatever words we want to put to it. But here in this video, I want to focus our attention more on conversation, putting words to this kind of very specific conversation practice, right? This translates into the practice that has to do with this mind and body connection, right? Everybody's talking about mind-body connection, right? This is the thing. And this is the thing of our era, because we live in a world, right? It's the year 2025, 21st century. We've been living in this era where we've really been taught to live from the neck up, right? Renaissance, Enlightenment, it's kind of moved us on this path, right? Scientific revolution has moved us into this space where we live life in our minds. We take in information through our eyes and our ears. We analyze it, right? We otherwise process it. We use logic. We use reason to make choices as we navigate through the world. And this is a powerful way of being in the world. Let us honor this. It is powerful and it is important to use your head wisely, to be able to take in information, to use all those powerful centers in your brain to make sense of it, to make decisions based on it, and to move forward from there. This is the way we've been doing things for some time now. And we will keep doing things in this way, and we will keep getting better and better at doing this. And here comes the embodiment piece, this mind-body connection. What we as a collective get to do in this age is to get out of our heads, at least in a way where we are stuck up in our heads, putting our head on a pedestal as we shame or demonize or ignore the rest of self. But this is the era where we get to put our heads back on our shoulders to connect mind and body, mind and heart, mind and belly, mind and womb, right? If you have a physical womb, if not, you do have an energetic womb, right? This is your creative space. This is where you bring things through into the world in a way that your head just can't. We are in an era where we get to be embodied. Yes, we have all these years and decades and centuries of all this wisdom, all this information, all this technology that has been brought into the world because we have recognized and honored how incredible the human mind is. But here and now, especially in this work you get to do with me here, we get to go deeper you get to experience life for all that you are, as the whole human being that you are. Embodied. So I've been sitting in circle today. I was facilitating our New Earth Embodiment Circle. We got into this conversation. We were all weaving, sharing, of getting at how this shows up in life and what it means to go out in the world and not just try to think and analyze and plan and strategize, but to live each moment, to experience each moment for what it actually is. Kind of feeling into this right now, like playing here, experiencing this with me. The difference between, okay, you have something that's coming up later today, and you want to plan it out, right? You want it to be a certain way. You think it's going to be a certain way. You want it to be a certain way. And you can sit and think about that future moment and plan it out. Then there's the moment where you show up and actually get to experience it. And the question is, how do you experience it? Do you force yourself to stick with the plan? Or do you show up with a plan, detach yourself from the plan, and then experience what is actually there to be experienced? Feeling into that, recognizing that I'm not here to teach you a right or wrong way to do things. What we get to do in embodiment work is to experience it for our own selves. And as we experience things for our own selves, we get to learn. And in our learning, we get better and better at discerning. Okay, is this a space where I need to show up with a strong plan? I need to really do my research, and I need to make myself and whoever's here really stick to it, because it's really important to stick to that plan? Or feeling into the other end, maybe we go all the way to the other end. I don't need a plan. I'm just going to show up. I'm going to have everything I need in that moment. I'll figure it out as I go along, as I'm guided, and I'll figure it out in the moment. Now maybe feeling into the middle ground. This is what I did in circle. This is what I always do in circle. I show up and I have a plan. I have a structure that I hold for our circles. And within that structure, I have a plan of what we can do. And then I show up, and there are certain things that I hold rigidly. And there are certain things that I totally let go of. Showing up with a plan. Yes, you did the work. You got your mind on board. You took in the information that was necessary. You made a plan. But now you're actually stepping into the experience and you're not attached. And stepping into the experience, what you're doing is you're actually being able to tune into what is here. Because you're not so fixated on what you thought it was supposed to be, what you wanted it to be, what you think it needs to be. You can actually be present in what is. And if in some moment you don't know what to do, you can open up to guidance. And in opening up to that guidance, maybe it's that plan of yours that you fall back on. Oh, I know what to do because I thought through this, and this is the right course of action, or at least the best course of action that I can do in this moment. Or maybe you're there and you're like, wait, no, this isn't right. I'm actually being guided in this direction. This is the way to go. you see this sort of playground we're working in here. Playground that is life, because this is what you do in every single moment in life. Every single moment in life, you are showing up for one experience after the next, after the next. And the question is, do we go in fixed because our heads have come up with a whole story for how it's supposed to be and how it should unfold? Or are we in the flow? Are we actually tuned into the way it's unfolding? I'm pinged all the time by these memories that I had when I worked in corporate engineering. And you have all these people who have been taught to live so deeply in their heads. And everybody has all the ways that the world is and should be and how things should work out. And because life is life, things rarely turn out the way we planned. But because we're so stuck up in our heads, we can't actually adapt to the way that life is unfolding. Therefore, we can't actually make decisions in the moment. Or the decisions we do make are disconnected from the reality that's actually unfolding. So we live in this world today, right, where most of humanity has been taught how oh so special their heads are and how we can take in information and there's enough information here to make the right, best decision. And then we step into life. And when life is a little bit different, or maybe a lot different from that whole thing we thought up in our heads, we're stuck in disconnection from reality. And as me over here in my head, stuck in my own head, and you over there stuck in your own head, and he and she and everybody else are stuck in their own heads. We live life disconnected from self, and we live life disconnected from the whole of reality. And this is the world we've created. This is the world we've created. Where, yes, in one sense, we are so advanced. Our technology, our scientific rigor, the wealth of information that we have available to us, we've created these worlds in our heads that are magnificent. And through that, we've, again, created technologies. It's amazing. But in doing so, we have cut ourselves off from connection to each other. We've cut ourselves off from connection to what actually matters. Each other, all of life on planet Earth. Because we're stuck in our own individual realities that, yes, to some degree are in touch with truth, but if we're here in our heads, we are not here present in reality. And so this is the task of our time, right? One of them, but it's one of those tasks where if we put our attention here and work through this, all of those different challenges that we are facing will fall away. And the ones that don't will have more space and time to focus our attention. Okay, here's a problem, a challenge that hasn't been addressed yet. And now that the world is so less chaotic, and now that I'm so much more in tune with the world, and now that I have so much space and time and energy, I can actually get focused here on what matters. Do you see how this works here? Embodiment is never about one way of being or not being that is high and mighty, superior. It's rarely about demonizing or pushing away ways of being, right? Unless those ways have to do with all the old toxic patterns that are ready to die, right? It was about showing up with all parts of self, everything we've got, calling upon everything we've got as we move forward, as we address the challenges that are here to be addressed, as we work through the problems that are here to be solved, and as we experience the joy and the bliss and the wonder and all the amazing things that are here unfolding moment to moment. So I'm thinking about this conversation. I'm going to bring a few more words to this topic, and then we'll wrap up. It's May 20th as I record this, and I saw today that the sun just moved into Gemini. We have a Gemini new moon coming up. I'll make sure this video is posted a few days before then. Gemini being this energy that I'm talking about, right? Gemini being this, or when I invoke Gemini, it's like I go right to my head and I go into this thinking, analyzing, this calling in information, making sense of it, analyzing using logic and moving forward from there. And I love Gemini. And I have this deep connection to Gemini because Gemini is my south node. And if you know astrology, if you don't get too hung up here. But we all have this north and south node, right? That's kind of our axis in life. It's like your north node is where you are being moved towards. And your south node is what you come into this life with. You're kind of moving away from that. It's like, okay, these are your south node, right? This is just like your natural abilities. And your south node will often be things where you're comfortable, that you're just good at it. So I came into this life full on, like Gemini, I've got this. The mind, mental activity, I've got this. Like school was easy for me. School was a space where I shined. My kind of line I speak is I should have just stayed in school forever because school was so easy for me and I could shine. And I could do that because I'm so good at taking in information, right? Reading, listening, books, lectures. I can just take in, I am a sponge for information. And my brain, it just does it. I can make sense of things, right? My brain is like always trying to make sense of things and pattern detection, like making models, solving equations. I just do that. And it's easy. But it's not fulfilling, and it's not actually the thing that's leading me where I need to go in life. Right? Gemini, all this is my south node, but my north node is Sagittarius. Just like the rest of my chart is Sagittarius. This expansion, right? Sagittarius is this fire arrow moving through the air, this adventure, this moving into the new. I don't want to drag us too far into Sagittarius because I want to keep us in Gemini. But what's powerful about my story is the way I kind of feel where humanity is at right now, right? There's all these different directions we're headed. There's all these different energies, zodiac signs we can invoke to help us touch into what it actually is that we are up against and working through in our world. But I love speaking to Gemini because Gemini is this thing in our world that we bow down to, right? It's this thing that we honor and are in such devotion to, the mind, right? We put the mind up on a pedestal. And we do this for a reason. I spoke to this. So there's a powerful reason because the mind is powerful. And in a lot of ways, there's still much improvement to be made in the way most of humanity on planet Earth can use our minds to be logical, rational, make decisions based on science, to make decisions based off of that which we know, to make decisions not off some story that you were taught, have come to believe, acting from there, right? There's this way of being where we can call upon our minds, be smart, be wise, be intelligent, use logic, use reason, call upon science, call upon math, call upon models, make decisions from there. There's a power to this. But is that what we are doing here in this age? The answer being a both and, right? Because we don't live in an either or world. There's not just one way that's the best way forward. We get to do it all. And so we can call upon Gemini, right? And speaking to this because we're just moving into Gemini season. We can call upon Gemini to be wiser in this way and to make better decisions in this way. But as we do, can we do it in a way where we are grounded in what is more than just our heads? Where we are connected, embodied, head upon our shoulders, mind in connection to heart, connection to belly, and connection to legs with our feet on this earth. Breathing into that one. This is a funky space, and I was sitting here before this conversation like, do I want to go there? Do I really want to go there on YouTube? Because YouTube is a space where so much of the conversation is bowing down to our mental capacities. And again, there's a space for that. There's a time for that. Can we do it in a way that's embodied? Can we do it in a way that is in connection to the greater whole that we are? So as I said, we're just moving into Gemini season. We do have a new moon coming up on, looking up at a calendar. I believe it's May 26th, 27th, early next week after I'm recording this. And what I want to do is hold a live event near, if not on, the new moon to dive deeper into this, to play in the new moon energetics in Gemini, because it's such a fun place to play in. It being, again, my south node. It being this space where I came into the world really in tune, really in sync with Gemini. It's like, I've got this. This is easy. But it's not the thing that's actually fulfilling for me. It's not the thing that's actually moving me forward where I need to go in life. And because you're here listening to me as a teacher, that's not where I'm guiding you either. But we do get to hold it. Doesn't mean we throw it away. It means we experience it, we honor it, we embody the wisdom, the gifts that it brings. We carry it with us as we move forward into the greater, more expansive, more wholesome state that we are all heading into. And we're all doing it in different ways, right? We're all doing it in different ways. We all came into this world, you know, again, if you're a fan of astrology, or whatever, you know, whatever belief system you hold, but from astrology, this, you know, the stars aligned and you came into the world and this is sort of your blueprint for life. Maybe you don't believe that. Your genetics, your epigenetics, your family system, your community when you came into this life, this is what set the stage for your life. And that connected to your own heart desires, that's what's leading you forward in life. Right? Again, we're not here to get like attached or hooked on a certain system. Astrology, the zodiac, psychology, it's all here. And it's all different frameworks to help us understand life and play in this life, play in this playground that is the human experience. Coming deeper and deeper and deeper in tuned with truth, with reality, with what matters. Being guided ever more skillfully into that which is brighter, more beautiful, more wholesome, all those good things we're reaching towards. All right, closing up here for today. A couple ending notes. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel. If you feel inclined to do so, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Okay. I thank you so much for being with me here in this space, and I look forward to catching you next time.